great afternoon. Happy and blessed Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back for another week. I'm so glad you guys are here. For those who do not know me, my name is Catherine Barnett, and I go by Cat Barnett, and this is the Cat Barnett Podcast. I help women also who struggle with confidence in their faith and fitness develop strategies and systems to gain clarity, direction, and purpose so that they can be fulfilled as they walk in their calling fruitfully. I feel like I'm in church right now, but I hope you all are doing great. I'm so blessed to be here another week with you all. And right now, I'm just excited. Second week of April, and we're rocking and rolling. Everything is going great. And right now, I just want to do a check in. I hope you all are doing well as well. We are 4 months officially into this year, and I'm so happy and just filled with joy that I see people actually, you know, trying to make a difference in their health this year. I see people doing more walking exercises outside, getting in the gym, doing more physical activity. And it's just a blessing to see that so many people this year look like they made that commitment to make a difference in their health. And I just love seeing it. So keep up the good work, y'all. So a few weeks ago, a little bit probably over a few weeks ago, we talked about healthy eating, our mental health. Then a few weeks ago, we talked about stress management. And last week's episode, we talked about ways that we can get better sleep. So all this is tying into our wellness, right? So today, on today's episode, I want to discuss with you guys about weight loss, because so many of us are so hard on ourselves and we're not exactly where we want to be, or we say we want to lose weight, but we don't know where to start, or we haven't even started yet, or we just are in the beginning process of it. I'm including myself. I don't necessarily want to lose a lot of weight, but I do want to tone up and become more muscular. So that is also going to require certain things. And it might require me shedding a little more pounds, losing 10 to 20 pounds. So today I want to discuss weight loss and 6 strategies to lose weight and boost your mental health for success. Because, there's been hundreds of, diets out there, weight loss programs, and some of them are just outright scams, to be quite honest, that promise quick and easy weight loss. But honestly, y'all, the best way to lose weight and keep it off is to make it a lasting lifestyle change. So these healthy changes include eating a balanced, meals, or if you want to say diet, and moving more each day. So I want to go over with you all today 6 steps to help start your weight loss journey if you are in the process of that. And just let me know if you guys are getting any value from this when I do tell you what's going on. So, number one is make sure you're ready. Make sure you're ready to commit to this journey, because long term weight loss takes time and effort, y'all. So be sure that you're ready to start eating healthy foods and become more active. So, a couple things that you can ask yourself these following questions. Do I have a strong desire to change habits to help me lose weight? Am I too distracted by other pressures? Do I use food to cope with stress? And I feel like that's a big one because so many of us eat food just because of our emotions. Am I willing to change my eating habits? And lastly, am I willing to change my physical activity and exercise habits? And just a bonus one that I would throw in there is, can I spend the time it takes to make these changes? If you have to talk with your healthcare professional, if you need help taking charge of stress, we've talked about ways that we can limit stress, but lowering stress is going to help you make long-term healthy lifestyle changes in the long run. Number two is find your inner drive. This, I believe, is going to be important. So many times I've also stressed to you guys is, find your why of why you do things, because no one else can make you lose weight. You need to make diet and physical activity or this lifestyle change to help yourself. Ask yourself, what will give you the burning desire to stick to your weight loss plan or journey? Make a list of reasons why weight loss is important to you. The list can help you stay inspired and focused. Maybe you want to boost your health or get in shape for a vacation that you have coming up. Think of your goals on days when you don't feel like eating healthy foods or moving more. Um, for me, like I told you guys, uh, sweets are my weakness, brownies and ice cream. And yesterday, your girl just really was craving ice cream. Like, I don't know why I was craving it so much, but I was. So I decided to compromise and get a frozen custard instead of like actual ice cream. So for those of you who don't know what a frozen custard is, it is similar to ice cream in a way, but a frozen custard is made with egg yolks, and ice cream is not. And it's has a more denser consistency to it. So it's more richer in flavor and a mouthfeel. So I decided to get a custard, but I also did almost 16,000 steps yesterday. So to actually move my body and work that off. So, you know, I want to encourage you guys to find other ways to stay on track too. For instance, you can, post an uplifting note to yourself on the refrigerator or on the pantry door to encourage you to stay away from, if you're a snacker, or always grabbing those sweets, because it is up to you to make the changes that lead to long-term weight loss. But it helps to have support from others. Like I've continued to state to y'all, having a community around you is so important. So pick people who will inspire you. They should never shame you or get in the way of your progress. It's best to find people who will listen to your concerns and feelings, share your goal to lead a healthy lifestyle, and that are also going to do active hobbies with you or help you or get or help you to make healthy um, menus, right? So your support group can help you to stick to your healthy changes. If you prefer like that, you want to do or keep your weight loss efforts private, just take some time and some steps to stay on course, right? Track your diet and exercise in a journal or an app. Also, track your weight and then review your progress and make changes as needed. I've stated to you guys that I am now really taking my nutrition more serious. So I got a nutritionist. And what we do is I have an app called MyFitnessPal that tracks everything I'm putting into my body, and it really tracks my macros. This was the first time I really knew what macros were, before I did invest in a nutritionist. So now I'm tracking my total carbohydrates, my protein, and my total fats that I'm putting in my body, and then weighing myself each week to just see if am I going up in weight, am I going down. And just a side note, don't let the scale discourage you, because having a scale, if you're gaining muscle, like if you're looking to gain muscle like me, your body could be toning up and you gaining muscle, and that muscle is also putting on weight. So just know that just because you're going up on the scale doesn't necessarily mean that you're gaining weight or having fat added onto your body. And so number 3 is set goals that you can reach, right? We've always talked about, especially that I always talk about, is making your goals realistic to you. So if you're aiming to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week over the long term, to do that, you'll need to burn about anywhere from 500 to 750 calories, give or take, each day. So losing 5% of your current weight may be a good goal to start with. If you weigh 180 pounds, that's 9 pounds. And if you want to break it down, that's 9 pounds, 4 kilograms. 180 pounds, that's 82 kilograms. So even this amount of weight loss can lower your risk of some long-term health conditions. So those conditions include heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Diabetes does run in my family, so I'm more probably prone to get it, but so I know that. So that's why I'm taking the steps now, and just knowing that I can't eat sweets or ice cream every day. There's got to be a limit to that. And it can also help set 2 types of goals when you're being more uh, realistic and you're setting goals that you can reach. So the first type is called an action goal. You can list a healthy action that you'll use to lose weight. For instance, walk every day for 30 minutes if you can. If not 30 minutes, walk for at least 10 to 15 minutes. The second type is called an outcome goal. You can list a healthy outcome that you aim to have. Lose 10 pounds. Mine is to gain muscle. So that is an example of an outcome goal. An outcome goal is what you want to achieve, but it doesn't tell you how to get there. An action goal does. So you set action goals so that you can make healthy changes. And just let me know if you guys are getting value from this. I hope you are. Number 4 is enjoy healthy foods, right? This isn't supposed to be miserable or a chore, y'all. To lose weight, you need to lower the total calories you take in from food and drinks. So don't forget, drinks is also a part of this. Limit yourself if you are a soda or pop drinker to probably having 1 or 2 a week instead of every day. But your meals can still be tasty and simple to make. One way that you can take in fewer calories to eat more fruits and vegetables and whole grains. These are known as plant-based foods because they're low in calories and high in fiber. Fiber helps you feel full, so you can eat many kinds of plant-based foods to help you reach your goals. I know one thing that I've changed is instead of eating white rice, I'm eating now brown rice and quinoa. Um, that is more full with fiber, and that helps me just feel more full throughout the day. And other tips that you can do as well, um, when it's concerning to your diet, is eat at least 4 servings of vegetables and 3 servings of fruits a day, if possible, and snack on fruits and veggies if you get hungry between meals. One thing that I've incorporated into I would say, my nutrition lifestyle is snacking on higher protein um, snacks. So whether that's cottage cheese, blueberries, strawberries, protein bars that are going to help me, feel at least content leading up to my next meal. Have whole grains as well, such as brown rice that I mentioned, barley, and whole wheat bread and pasta. Try to eat fewer refined grains, such as white rice and white bread. Use healthy fats, such as olive oil, vegetable oils, avocados, nuts, nut butters, and nut oils. I love avocado, so that's one thing that was no problem adding more into my life. But keep in mind that even healthy fats are even high in calories. So just be mindful of how many times a week you're eating these healthy fats, and limit foods and drinks that have added sugar, right? I mentioned, pop, soda. So these can include desserts, jellies, and sodas. The natural sugar in fruit is okay, but choose lower fat or fat free dairy products. One thing that I like is coffee, but I like adding creamer to my coffee. No way that I think I can ever do black coffee. I'm just not there yet. So I get now sugar free creamer because I do drink coffee at least maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times a week. So I just want to limit as much sugar as I can. So anything that I can get sugar free, I will try to get sugar free. Also, focus on eating fresh foods. I think this is also really, really big and important because they have more nutrition than processed foods. Processed foods often come in a box or a can, so just be mindful of that. And they tend to have more fat, sugar, or salt. It's also a good idea to be mindful while you eat. Focus on each bite of foods. This helps you enjoy the taste. And I mentioned before in previous episodes is eat slower because really our eyes, if you're like me, are bigger than your stomach at times. So really you could be full after a few or several bites that you just got to slow down so your mind can catch up. So try not to watch TV or stare at your phone during meals. You may eat too much without knowing it because you're distracted by something else. Number 5 is get active and then stay active. I think the hardest part is just starting, right? We um, tend to not want to show up for ourselves. But once you start showing up, it gets easier. I promise you guys. You can lose weight without exercise, but it is harder to do. So regular physical activity helps burn off extra calories. Exercise has many other benefits. I really will go into just making a podcast episode, I think next week, about really the benefits of exercise, but I will go over just briefly a little bit of them today. So, exercise can help lift your mood, lower blood pressure, and help you sleep better, right? I've talked about how important it is with at least getting 7 hours to 8 hours of sleep each night. Exercise also helps you keep off the weight that you lose too. Studies have shown that people who maintain their weight loss over the long term get regular physical activity. So how many calories you burn depends on how often and how long and how hard you exercise. One of the best ways to lose body fat is through steady aerobic exercise, such as brisk walking. Work up to at least 30 minutes of aerobic exercise most days of the week. If you can do this at least 4 or 5 days out of the week, that is awesome. Some people may need more exercise than this to lose weight and keep it off. But, work your way up gradually. If you're not used to walking at all, try it just one day a week and go up each week. And also aim to do strength training exercises at least twice a week. And this is where I am focused on in my journey currently. I do strength training at least 3 times a week. And you could lift weights, use exercise bands, or do push ups. Those are great strength training um, exercises to do. Any extra movement helps you burn calories. So think about ways to move during the day. You could, use the stairs instead of an elevator if you work at a job where it has multiple levels. Try using the stairs. Park at the far end of the lot when you shop. So when you go to the grocery store, um, for me, I try to actually find a closer parking. I'm not gonna lie, even if it's um, you know, not that far of a walk. It's still walking, and you gotta walk when you're grocery shopping. So just keep that in mind. But these are ways that you can be more active if you're not getting steps currently, like I am. But stand inside of a sit while you talk on the phone, or I'm sorry, stand instead of sit while you talk on the phone or check emails. Walk laps around the room or march in place while you watch TV. I know when I was growing up, my dad would do this after he eats, and he still does this because when we went on vacation with each other a couple weeks ago, he would eat and then he'd walk around, do laps. And I would make fun of him, I'm not gonna lie, but that's also ways to move your body. So that's um not like it's not beneficial. That is beneficial. So do that after a meal if you're not getting enough steps in. And the last one that I want to go over with you guys today, y'all, is to change your mindset. It's not enough to eat healthy foods and exercise for just a few weeks or months. To keep off extra weight, you should make these healthy changes a way of life. Lifestyle changes start with taking an honest look at your eating patterns and daily routine. Think about negative habits or other challenges that have kept you from losing weight in the past. Then plan for how you'll deal with them moving forward. You know, you'll likely have some setbacks. That is normal on your weight loss journey. But don't give up after a setback. That's what's important. I read today when I was looking at a nutrition post is don't give up after a setback, because if you keep going through after that setback, you'll never know how far you can reach. But you'll be right where you are if you quit just because of that setback. Simply start fresh the next day and the next day after that if you have that setback. Remember that you're planning to change your life, and it won't happen all at once. So give yourself grace. And I'll continue to cheer you guys on to do that and encourage you guys on to give yourself grace, because It's hard making new lifestyle changes. So stick to your healthy lifestyle change. Don't give up. The results will be well worth it. I promise y'all. Especially on the days you don't want to do it. Show up for yourself so that you can show up for others and be a blessing to others. So I hope you guys got value from this and continue to just give yourself grace and be your biggest fan. So, with that being said, next week we will talk about how exercise benefits us. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and an even better week. And I'll catch you all next week. All right. Peace, love, and blessings. God bless y'all.